talk about React state. One of the most important aspects of React world, right? Understanding the state makes the difference between being able to create complex apps or not. Not even complex, even to create simple things with some basic user interaction, buttons, inputs, things like that, you need a state, yeah? So, do you remember some time ago we discussed about the different types of components in React? Do you remember what type of components do we have in React? Functions and classes, and that's it, yeah? When we talk about functions, these are stateless components, stateless, they don't have any state. Yeah, they don't have any state. Even though now in the last version of React, they introduced something similar to state in a stateless components, but they didn't call it a state because otherwise it would be mind-blowing. Yeah. But anyway, let's ignore the latest version of React delivered a couple of weeks ago, and let's think about the general aspects of the React lifecycle. So functions, I got a function app. No class at all, yeah? Yes, have some HTML, return something, all good, yeah? But obviously, we are not going to build the next Netflix, the next Facebook, yes, by creating this sort of components. So let's talk about stateful components, classes. So the state is data that is handled privately by our component, yeah? And whenever that data changes, the component is re-rendered, yeah? So if, for instance, we are displaying your average score in the platform and you completed a training, we update the score, yeah? We refresh the view. We don't refresh the full page, right? We don't do Control-R or Command-R. We don't do that. This is 90s, yeah? But under the hood, data changes, yeah? You know, the typical, you know, Bitcoin website, when they got the charts in real time, yeah? State changes. So this is what I would like to do today, to introduce the state. So, first of all, this is a function, right? Our app component is a function. It's not going to help us to handle state. So let's transform this stateless component into a stateful component. So, to do that, we'll type class app extends. We'll learn towards the end of the bootcamp when talking about inheritance, what extends means. But for now, remember to put extends react.component. Just to keep things simple, long story short. So here we say, hey, this is a React component. And because it's a React component, please expect to have some methods that you may have heard about, like component mount, constructor, render, and so on. So, first of all, I want to have the same functionality as a title, but instead of with a stateless component as part of a stateful component. So, how do we display things with the stateful components? With a method that allows that to do that? Constructor, wrong? Which method? Render, correct, Wendy. She won the last challenge, you remember, right? So render is the method in React that help us to display things. Yeah? So every time you have a render function, you can return some HTML, some JSX to be strict. Yeah? So div h1 welcome to the stateful component. Yeah, something like that, and it works. Yeah. Easy. We've done nothing actually. We just, you know, change the approach. Instead of having a stateless component, now we have a stateful component. But now let's introduce a state. To introduce a state, the very first thing you have to do is to make sure you have a constructor. So the constructor is the very first method that JavaScript hits when instantiates a class. This is not about React, it's about JavaScript. Yeah, one of the beautiful things about JavaScript, and one of the reasons why it became the king of the JavaScript libraries, at least in Europe and US, is because rather than trying to reinvent the wheel and rather than trying to think about new mechanism, it just reuses what JavaScript already offers. That means that if you already know JavaScript, the learning curve is softer. Yeah? Yep.
So if you don't put, for example, constructor like this,
Yeah.
it will be always a normal component.
Yeah, actually.
Class,
Yeah.
like a normal statement.
Yeah, look, yeah, correct. It did work, right? You see, now I don't have any constructor, and now it's a stateless component. Yeah. Yeah, correct. The reason why we have to put the constructor, or one of the reasons why we put the constructor, is to initialize the state. So the state is which properties in your component are dynamic, are expected to change. So let's do a very basic test. At the moment, the title is static, right? It never changes. So in other words, let me save it. Okay, let me remove the constructor. Yeah, and then after commenting out the constructor, so I can spend hours or days looking at the screen, the title will never change, yeah? So let's change the title. Let's make sure that the title changes after, for instance, a couple of seconds or 3 seconds. Actually, this does some conflicts that talks about that, right? Introduce a state, it's very similar. So let's do that. So the first thing we have to do is to type super. And again, we'll learn what that means towards the end of the bootcamp. It's also about inheritance between classes. But if you don't put super, it will probably complain, correct, throws error. At least the error is pretty explicit. Super hasn't been called. Yeah? Constructor and then super. Yeah? We'll learn the details about why, but for now, just remember to drop it there. And then we can initialize the state. So the state is essentially typing this dot state equals, and then notice, you can notice here what type of data my state is. It's an object. That's not necessary, strictly speaking. Could be an array, could be multiple type of data. But generally speaking, yeah, it's an object in the majority of the cases. So because of this is an object, I'm going to put a message called the title equals hello from state. Yeah? So the title is expected to change depending on time, user interaction, Brexit, whatever. Yeah? So now, how do we display the hello from state message? At the moment it says something else, welcome to stateful component. How do we bind with this title on the state? Go to the state. Where is go to the state? Line number 8? H1, here. I remove the old title. Line 16. I'm in line 16 now. Yeah, and then what? Remove that. Curly braces, yeah. This state. This dot state. Dot title. And close the curly braces. Yeah. Ooh, that's correct. Well done. You can see, hopefully you can see, that now we are displaying a message from the state. So if we change the state statically, yeah, it changes. So now the next question is, this is my initial state, and it's good, right? It's sexy. However, I want to change it after 2 seconds. The way you change the state in that particular case is we can have another method called component did mount. Component did mount is a method that will be automatically invoked by React as soon as your UI is ready. Yeah? So as part of the component did mount, do you know how to run an action in JavaScript after a given period of time? Set timeout, correct. This is classic. This is very old JavaScript. But with old JavaScript, you can use set timeout, do something, and then specify the timer after 2 seconds, in milliseconds, 2000 milliseconds. So after 2 seconds, I want to change the state. So can we do that? This dot state dot title equals title updated.
Use a method for that.
Hmm.
Set state method.
Correct. Look at what happened. It never runs. Yeah? It never changes. Let's add a breakpoint to see if the problem is that that line is never executed. So, sources, and then let's open app.js. Yeah, so I got, even it's a bit small, I'll zoom it a bit. Yeah. So hopefully you can see on the right hand side the code that I created on the left hand side. So let's add a breakpoint on line number 15. Do you think line number 15 will ever run or not?
No, it won't try to execute. It should be.
It should.
It will try to execute just the state's assignment.
Okay, this is the divide and conquer. We don't know, there are 2 options here, right? Option 1 is line number 15 never runs. If it never runs, it will never ever update the title, yeah? Option 2 is line 15 does run, it is executed, however the line itself is wrong. Let's see which option is the correct one. If we refresh the page, oh, after 2 seconds it runs, yeah? So the code is perfect, well, excepting that line.
I'm not calling the function.
We are not calling the function. Which function?
We are not calling the component the amount problem. You run like that.
No. The component in mount is correctly invoked. As you can see, it tries to do something. The problem is that line is wrong because this is not the correct way to update the state. React doesn't really like that. Does anyone know how to update the state with React? Correct. It's a bit tricky the first time you see that, but once you get used to it, it's like your second skin. So the correct way to update the state, instead of changing the property as such, like if it was a normal object, we have to do this dot set state, and then we pass an object. It's not the only way to do that, but that's probably the most famous one, with the properties that you want to change. Which property do we want to change? Title. And then the value of the new value of title is whatever I got here, yeah? Let me move it to a new line for readability purposes. Yeah? So that's the way you update the state. You invoke the setState function, and then you specify which property or properties, you can update multiple, right, at the same time, you want to update. So let's remove the breakpoint. I'm 90% sure that will work. So let's just give it a go. So we refresh, 1, 2, title updated. Yeah? So you see how this has executed. Now, question for you. Let's talk about breakpoints. So I'm adding, I need to zoom it out a bit. Let's see if that works. So, my favorite question. I want you to tell me the execution order of the breakpoints, even if it's the very last thing we talked on the last 16.5 minutes. Because this is vital to understand the life cycle of a React component. Okay. So who is, wait a minute, wait. I'm interested to listen first, people who, don't contribute that often. So, for instance, maybe if they contribute often, right? Just random, let me ask someone randomly. People like Sule. Oh, actually, you cannot see anything because my face is on top. Brilliant. Oh. Okay, let's change that. I'm going to put this thing on the left-hand side. Sule. Oh, spoiler alert. Sorry. Oh, it's telling you the first one. Yeah, cool. So the breakpoints are still there somehow, yeah? 3 breakpoints, 8, 14, and 22. Sule, what's your bet? 22, 8, and sorry, I'm missing another one actually. 14 and 15. That's correct now. So 22, 8, 14. Anything else, Sule?
Yeah, no. 15 and then 14.
15 and then 14. So we also got bucket.
Could be 8, 22.
Sorry, it got removed. I need to add it again. It said now, yeah, I'm adding the breakpoints again. They got move one line. Oh yeah, because sorry. Thing is, because I'm adding comments, now the breakpoints are moving, right? It's a bit unfortunate, but I'll move the comments to the bottom. Yeah, sorry, this is a bit complicated. Space is what it is, yeah? But so anyway, now it will be again 8, what Sule proposed, right? 8, 14, 15, and 22. So now, bucket, yeah? Say it again, bucket?
I would say 8, 22.
Yeah?
14, 15.
8, 22, 14, 15. Helder?
I'll say 22,
22,
and then 8,
yeah?
then 14,
14,
15.
15. Right. Florin?
22,
Yep.
8,
Yeah?
fifteen
15 and
and 14.
14. We got Luigi and Camille. Does any of you want to participate? Any idea, guys? Hello, can you hear me? Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I was
so-
on mute, yes. Yeah, I think I agree with, so let me just go back to the
Luigi,
screen.
you agree?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah? So you agree with who?
So, yeah, I agree with Elder.
Okay,
So 22, 8, 14, 15.
correct. Any feedback, Camille? No? Right. Anyone else here has a different opinion? If not, can you tell me, if you haven't participated, who you agree with? So Pelin, you agree with who? With? Helder and Luigi. Okay, Pelin. Yeah? Who else? Nico, you agree with them, yeah? Anyone else has a different opinion or wants to participate?
I can.
Yeah? Go for it, Bilius.
I will go for buckets.
Okay, so Bucket, Bilius, and Walter.
Can I add a question? Like, let's say, okay, class is initialized.
Yeah?
Okay, constructor creates.
We'll see. We'll see that in a minute. Anyone else? Vivian? With Bucket, Vivian, okay? Mm-hmm. So Davide disagrees with everyone else. Yeah?
There is something that.
No, hey, listen, it's fair to disagree. Let's have a discussion. So what's your proposal?
No, it's not different.
So then you don't...
I'm on the side of 8 or 22. But let's say 22.
22. So you are with Helder, Luigi, Pelin, and Nico. Okay.
But there is something that I'm cool to say.
Cool. Let's have a look. So the Italians agreed on something, right? Cool. So anyone else? Carl?
By the way, I don't know if you guys can hear me, but
Yeah, we can hear you. This is Gagwa. Yes.
Yeah.
Go for it. You- Okay. Yeah.
Let's say 40.
Okay. Carl. Same one. Yeah. Maybe you've noticed already that if I'm spending so much time, it's a way to tell you you are wrong, everybody. Yeah. So that's why I'm wasting. Just to see if anyone is finding why you are all wrong. Yeah. So there are 3 points on the board challenge. I will give extra half a point every 10 seconds until someone gives me the right answer.
So we are wrong.
You're all wrong. All wrong. All wrong.
Okay.
All wrong. Yep. I'll tell you, well, let me wait 1 minute. Half extra point. I don't know. I don't know. Right, time out. No one gets the points. Okay, Nico has an idea. It's the last chance, Nico.
14, 15, 8, and 22.
14, so I'll 14, 15, 14, 15, 8, and 22. Right. Let's have a look, guys. Let's solve the problem. Yeah? And instead of giving you the answer straight away, I'll go step by step and I'll keep removing people who was wrong, right? So let's see how close everyone is. Some of you were close, were very close, but no one got the right answer. So the thing is, when we run a class in JavaScript, the very first thing that runs is the constructor. Very first thing. That means that everyone who didn't say number 8 is wrong already. So out. Everyone apart from Bucket, Bilius, Walter, Vivian, Nangawa, and Carl, you were all wrong, yes, from the first step. That's it, yeah? Cool. But now, let's see what happened next. After running the constructor, what do you think happens next? Component did mount or render? Wrong. Wrong. Render comes next. Component did mount means the component has been already rendered. Yeah? So render goes next. That means 22. You were still right. Yeah? Some of you.
Yeah.
Cool. All good. Let's go on. Then, once the component is rendered, we go to the component in mount. Yeah? 14. Still good, eh? You see? Still correct. And then after 2 very long seconds, we run the timeout. So then we run 15. So essentially, you were right. However, you forgot something absolutely vital. We want to update the title. In other words, we want to re-render. The idea of invoking setState is to re-render the component. That's why the title gets updated. In other words, you missed to add 22 again. Cool. Let's see if I'm right or if I'm talking about bullshit. So, if I refresh, if the breakpoints work, look, like breakpoint number 8 is not hitting. That happens with Chrome, but trust me, it will run first. Yeah. So if it's skipping half of the breakpoint. So let me close. Let me open a new tab, and eventually it will hopefully hit the right breakpoints. This is a classic thing in Chrome. So now all the pressure is on my shoulders, right? So yeah, let's try again. Right, still not hitting the breakpoints. Let me kill the browser. I will open an incognito. Now let's see if that any helps. Oh, it's not what I wanted to do. So yeah. So localhost. If it doesn't work, I'll do something a bit more aggressive, and I'll show you in a minute, because that's a classic problem with Chrome. And to me, there's something a bit unacceptable, right, in 2019. But anyway, this thing happened. So, no, it's not taking the breakpoints. When that happens, you see, sometimes it doesn't pick the breakpoints. First thing I do is I try to change something to see if after refreshing, it works. If that's not the case, it is. Yeah. Oh, wait. Now it's okay. Cool. So now it's responding. So we got 7 or 8, doesn't matter. 14, 15, and 22. Yeah, remember? Cool. So we can even zoom it a bit more. Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, that should work. Let's refresh again. Remember, first, now the breakpoints work fine, yeah? What I had to do is I had to open an incognito window, refresh the page. It's a bit error prone, trial and error, right? I don't like that, but it's what it is. Anyway, the constructor runs first. So according to my theory, then it should run the render function, yeah? Correct, you see, 22. Now it should immediately stop on line number 14, correct. Yeah, and now after 2 seconds, it will stop on line number 15. 1, 2, that's it, yeah, 15. And now, because we're invoking setState does 2 things. First of all, it changes your state, changes your object, and then it re-executes, re-invokes the render. Yeah? Correct. You see, that's what everybody misses. Why? Because now we got a new title. If we hover the title, you see, it's telling, yes, I got a new title, that's why I'm going to display it again. And now, that's it. Yeah? So that exercise, to me, is one of the most important ones when talking about React. Don't be surprised if on your first job interview they show you a component and they will tell you, can you tell me the execution order? Well, point with your finger to where the code goes. Yeah? So that's the way we learn that. Cool. Any question?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, component did mount is life cycle.
Yeah.
Like, how many we will need to know, like, by the end?
These are the basics. To me, these are the most important ones. There are others, like component will mount, component will unmount. There are many, but these are probably the ones you need 95% of the time.
So component will mount would be before render?
Yes, before render, correct.
Before render.
And after constructor, yeah.
Can we play around with the title, let's say, to show the guys, like, let's say, if you add, like, I don't know, this state title, if you had a completely different property, that it will add any objects of the state. Or am I wrong?
I didn't get the question.
If you put instead of a title, set the state message.
Yeah, you want to change something different. So instead of title, you want to put
Instead of like put message. Yeah.
message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine. And after you can put in the render.
In the render,
In
you
the render, yeah, because after 2 seconds it should add up.
you want to put message here.
Not necessarily both
No.
of them.
Both of them. Title. Okay.
Title and message.
Okay, fair enough. So title, and then message underneath. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So what do you think that will display, guys? An error. That's interesting. I don't think that will happen. I think, and I'm not 100% sure, I'm 90% sure, it will display the title straight away. Yeah. Title, whatever. Yeah. Hello from state. Message. It will display either nothing or undefined. It depends how React renders that, but it will be empty. And after 3 seconds, it will keep the title, it will keep the first hello from state, and also additionally, it will display title updated. So it will display both messages. Let's try that. Let's comment the breakpoints, and let's see what happens. Let me refresh.
Yeah.
You see, 1, 2, you see, that's correct. First the title, for state message, 1, 2, yeah. So, in other words, when you call set state, you don't have to redefine all your properties. Set state will only change the properties that you pass here. The others will remain untouched, still valid, which is convenient. Otherwise, it would be very complicated to maintain the state of your component. Yep.
Ma the option, but we have also every time you use compound demand if you want to update the result. Because now we
No, not always. No, not always. We'll do another workshop that will talk about how to update the state using user interaction. For instance, with a button. I want to click on a button and change the message.
For example, if we update, if the data come from another
Yeah,
page,
that's the same thing. They are,
so in this case we have to refresh and,
yeah,
and we will gain the same message.
yeah, correct.
If I leave the page and want to come back to this page,
Yeah.
I want to see the update result,
Yeah.
not the first message.
Yep.
We don't have to use compound demand.
Not really. No. On task number 24 of Codeflix, you will see how to update the content, the list of TV shows, based on the information that comes from the backend. Yeah. So you'll call the backend Node. You remember? Please give me the list of TV shows, and Node will offer a list. After a few seconds, hopefully not long time, you'll get the list of TV shows on the front end, and then you'll update the state. That's why task number 24 is so important, because it covers state handling, data, backend connection, you know, all these sort of things.
We don't have to use compound demand.
It depends what you want to do, right? In that case, you'll have to. Component demand means once your UI is ready, trigger an action immediately. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll add another example, another workshop where we don't use component demand. We use a button. I want to update the state not after 2 seconds, but only when and if the user press the button. Anything else?
Can we add like in a set state like title and something different to update the state so you guys will understand that?
Sure.
This one actually.
You want to update the title here?
Title, whichever, maybe something else.
Yeah, of course. It's the same thing as I mentioned before.
So this way, the guys.
Yeah. It will update both properties at the same time. Yeah. Let's run that. Look. 1, 2, all good. All change. Yeah. Key values, as many as you want.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, when do we use a state? So I'm confused because we can create a new component which is a function.
Yeah.
So why?
You will see. So generally speaking, that's a good question. How do we know if we need a stateful or a stateless component? Every time that your data changes dynamically depending on given conditions, you'll need a stateful component. In other words, try to do the same exercise using a stateless component. It would be a bit more complicated, if not impossible. Yeah? My suggestion is always try to create stateless components, and because they are simpler, 90% of your components will be stateless, so use them by default, and if you realize that it doesn't work, then you have to transform it into stateful. Yeah?
Yes, stateless class, stateful.
Other way around, stateless functions
Sorry.
and stateful classes. Yeah? Anything else? No? Luigi, Gamil, Gawa, anything else?
No, I don't have anything.
Cool. Fantastic, guys. Thank you very much. See you later.